Hi, everybody. How are you doing? Welcome to math. So we are going to continue talking about equivalent fractions. Remember, equivalent fractions are fractions where the numerator and the denominator are not the same, but the two fractions are equal. So today we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions on the number line. Okay, here's a number line. Well, here's lots of them, right? But we're going to look at the top one. 0 and 1. And how many parts is this divided into? There's one part and two parts. So this 1 is the same as 2 out of 2, right? Okay, so what would this be? 0 and then half, 1 out of 2, right? That's what that would be. That's half. Let's look at this one. How many parts is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is same as 6 out of 6, right? Okay, so 1 out of 6, 2 out of 6, 3 out of 6, 4 out of 6, 5 out of 6, and then 1 is the same as 6 out of 6, right? This is the same. 2 out of 2, 6 out of 6, they're all the same. Okay, so what about this one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So 1 out of 8, 2 out of 8, 3 out of 8, 4 out of 8, 5 out of 8, 6 out of 8, 7 out of 8, and you know that 1 is 8 out of 8, right? Here's what we want to know. Look at that. Look at the half. Look at 3 out of 6. And look at 4 out of 8. These are what? These are equivalent fractions. They're in the exact same spot on the number line. The only difference is that we divided the number line between 0 and 1 into more parts each time. But these are all the same. So if I were to write a sentence, a mathematical sentence, I would write half equals 3 out of 6 equals 4 out of 8. See, 3 is half of 6, and 4 is half of 8, and 1 is half of 2. They are all equivalent fractions, right? So that's equivalent fractions on the number line. Let's do a little more. Okay, so there's our number line between 0 and 1. How many parts is that divided into? 1 part, 2 parts, 3 parts. That means this 1 is what? This is the same as 3 out of 3, right? This is the first part, 1 out of 3, 2 out of 3, right? Let's count this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. This means this is 6 out of 6. And everything else we're going to count with a whole of 6 at the bottom. The denominator is 6. 2 out of 6. 3 out of 6. 4 out of 6. 5 out of 6. Right? Okay. Let's do this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This one represents 9 out of 9 parts. 1 out of 9, 2 out of 9, 3 out of 9, 4 out of 9, 5 out of 9, 6 out of 9, 7 out of 9, and 8 out of 9. Oh. Okay, let's look at things. Have we found any equivalent fractions? Well, yeah, look at this one. 1 out of 3, a third, 2 out of 6, and 3 out of 9. Let's write it, shall we? Okay, so 1/3 equals 2 out of 6 equals 3 out of 9, right? See here? It's the same thing. This is 1/3, this is the same as 1/3, and this is the same as 1/3. They're equivalent fractions. Okay, let's look at this. What about this? 2 over 3 4 over 6, 6 over 9. What do you think, right? Same thing, equivalent fractions. 2 over 3 equals 4 over 6 equals 6 out of 9. They're all the same. They're on the same part of the number line. And you know, if we look at just two of them, look, 2 times 2 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6. Remember, we used to do that? Let's look at the top one. Let's look at the top one. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 2 is 6, right? If you look at the top one, how we did them calculation-wise. But now we're showing them on the number line. Okay, let's review what we did before for equivalent fractions. And I forgot to mention that there was a cute YouTube video, so I hope you get to watch it before you watch this video, because I thought it was one of those kind of cool song ones that we could learn from, and I thought it was a very educational yet fun video. So I hope you watch the little cartoon song posted on Schoology. Okay, we're looking for equivalent fractions. Does it tell us what it wants us to multiply by? Absolutely not. So I'm just going to do the easiest thing I can think of. I'm going to multiply this by 2. If I multiply the numerator by 2, I multiply the denominator by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. 7 times 2 is 14. Excuse me, you guys. Have to remember your multiplication tables. Okay, what about here? Did it tell us anything? No, I'm still going to do times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. If I multiply the numerator by 2, I multiply the denominator by 2. 8 times 2 is, oh my goodness, 8 times 2 is 16, Miss M. Okay, all right. Here, though, I can't just go, I'm just going to multiply by 2. I guess in the end it will be. But 9 times what gives me 18? 9 times 2 gives me 18. If I multiply the denominator by 2, I multiply the numerator by 2. 4 times 2 is 8. All right, 2 more. Can you do it? I think you can. 7 times something gives me 21. How did I know it's times? Because this number is bigger. It's bigger, it's not smaller. This is a smaller number, this is the bigger number. 7 times what gives me 21? 7 times 3 gives me 21. If I multiply the numerator by 3, I have to multiply the denominator by 3. 10 times 3 is 30. Okay, does this one tell us a number we have to do? Nope. So I can't really divide them. I'm going to multiply. What do you think? 5 times 2 is 10. 7 times 2 is 14. 2 is the smallest number I can think of. And the smaller the number, the easier it is to remember the multiplication facts. Okay, so we remember our equivalent fractions. Let's look at our assignment. Math assignment. Can we see it? Yeah. Math assignment, equivalent fractions on the number line. Write an equivalent fraction to each of the following fractions. So, right? I just did this, right? Do the same thing. Give me an equivalent fraction. Here, though, you have to think, what did I multiply the 9 to get to 27, right? And then if I multiply by 3 here, then I have to multiply the numerator 7 times 3, and you can figure the rest out, right? Here, same thing. I multiplied 4 by something to get to 16. If I multiply here by that number, I have to multiply the denominator by that number. This part is not new. This part is. Look at the number lines below. Look at the number lines below. Write 3 equivalent fractions you see. And do not tell me 2 over 2, 4 over 4, and 8 over 8. That's easy. They're all ones. Do not give me those. Give me something different. Okay? You're going to find equivalent fractions. And you're going to tell me what those three fractions are. I'm not talking right today. See how I wrote that? See how I wrote that? Try to write that. But this, see? This is half. This is divided into fourths. This is divided into eighths. And this is divided into sixteenths. So That's it for now. Email me or text me if you have any questions. See you next time.